Hi everyone, it's Sam Schick from Junk Removal Authority, back again to answer some questions from junk owners. Obviously you want to receive paid in full. I would say 80 to 90, 95% of my jobs were paid in full before we even left. One of the beautiful parts about it is you don't see a lot of NSF checks or bounce checks because you're in people's homes, and there's a bit of responsibility there to somebody who comes into your home. So we didn't see a whole lot of bounce checks, but you do have to take the right information and certainly follow up on if the first time and it happens, people do bounce checks. So you do have to follow up, and usually it's not a problem. If it does become a problem, you have to look at a collection agency and things of that nature. But you have to realize that sometimes it's not worth going after. It's part of the business. The other thing was, people wanted to pay partial, especially before we even started a job. Really depends on the scope of the job, who you're doing it for. You can get credit background on people. You can. We've had several accounts fill out a credit app for us. But a lot of times, I ask for large jobs, 25 to 50% down. It was a commercial job. It usually wasn't a problem. Residential jobs, I didn't ask for anything down up front. It was there, one-day jobs or one-hour jobs in most cases, and we'd finish the job and get paid right away. Credit card is the most common use right now. It's surprising back in 2004 how much cash I got paid. I'm glad it's more the credit card side. The way to get paid is to certainly get paid up front, full and not worry about payments. You can't build a business on being a bank and being a creditor for somebody, but you also don't want to miss those large jobs, and it's only fair that if they're willing to put down 25 to 50% on the job, that you can accept that. But buyer beware. I will also tell you one last tip is back in 2009 when the bubble burst. So my accounts receivables were high enough, but we saw a lot of people go belly up. And certainly you don't want to lose that money. So don't ever let the accounts receivable gets too high. Make sure that you stay on top of it, and make sure that you don't extend your terms past 30 to 60 days. Don't go any further than that out. And that's how I accepted payment. That's a great question. I mean, I was in Chicago, a major metro in the United States, but it all depends on what you're looking to open up. Obviously the larger cities, there's going to be more competition. The smaller cities, there's going to be less competition. There's a ceiling to both. One is a higher ceiling in Chicago as far as how much revenue you can make. One is a smaller ceiling, but it doesn't mean that you can't make as much money. One of the things I constantly say is you never take top line sales of the bank, you take bottom line sales. So even though your top line isn't that of Chicago or LA or New York, it really depends on how much you bring to the bottom line. And a lot of the small markets can be just as successful. It can be a two truck, 3 truck, 4 truck operation, and have a percentage of net profit is as high as it was in some of the larger cities. Remember that it really depends on what type of business you want to operate and where you want to operate in. And there's a need all over. That continues to grow and grow and grow. People have excess stuff. And as long as there's storage units, and as long as there's basements, and as long as there's places to put your stuff and your junk, there's always going to be a need for our service, anywhere. I can tell you that I employed all the people that worked for me. I didn't have much contract work. If I did, it was a labor source where I was very disappointed with the type of labor that they provided. So I can't speak from contracted work because all of my people were employed. We did offer benefits. It was a group health plan. We did pay their payroll tax. So, I mean, it was all part of it. So I couldn't tell you really if contract work is, I mean, certainly there's some attractiveness to it. I would have to, depending on each and everybody's market, I think I'd want to check into, the other people in the business and also the legality of contract work and some of the pros and cons to it. Now I know that there's a lot of benefits to being a minority-owned business and a women-owned business. Where there are a lot of grants you can take advantage of. The only one that I'm aware of and that I took advantage of was when I ran alternate fuel. I ran propane trucks, and I was able to get a grant from the state of Illinois at the time for alternate fuel. There's also in other states for alternate fuels such as LP or natural gas, and even electric trucks. They're coming in strong. There's going to be a lot of grants that are going to be available. So check your own area. Check as far as federal grants, I'm not entirely sure about that, but certainly I would check into it. As we get into our junk removal business, we become a part of our business culture. One of the pitfalls, I'm going to tell everybody, this is a pitfall, is that you operate under a bubble. And under the bubble, you assume that you do things better than anyone else. I did too. I mean, I was in my business bubble, and I believed I was better than the next guy. But the only people that are going to tell you you're better than your competitors are your customers. Don't listen to those horror stories about what another company did. Listen to what another company did that was perhaps better than what you do. Because the whole idea is to provide a customer experience that is better than anyone else. And as soon as you think that your customer experience is better than anyone else, keep looking. Thanks for your questions. Great questions again. Now, down below in the comments section, make sure you fill that out with any additional things you have to ask me about. As these seasons change, so do the questions. So anything you have out there, just fill out the comments below. And we'll see you in 2 weeks.